Give me a second. Let's see. All right.
Every move you make on the board is going to be read by some serious electronic wizardry. Inside, we have technology that senses the way your body shifts. On the sides are sensors that know when your hands or feet are near them.
How actually sensitive was this thing? Because I have a feeling this thing was ridiculously hard to calibrate.
The nose is the part of the board facing towards the screen. The tail is...
They actually got Tony Hawk to see.
...facing away. It may feel more comfortable to have your left foot forward, which means your stance is regular. Or it might feel better to have your right foot forward like me, which means your stance is goofy. For now, we need to keep the board in a regular stance, so the start button should be facing towards the left of the screen.
So you had to go through the fucking menus on this thing too? That...
We're going to calibrate the board now. Place the board on the...
Make sure you do this in a... Oh, man. Make sure you do this in a room where no one's watching you, because, believe me, you don't want them to.
Floor perpendicular to the screen, and make sure the start button is facing to the left of the screen. Stand in one of these safe zones away from the side sensors. The sensors are first. Stand in one of these safe zones away from the side sensors. Okay, now make sure not to touch the board for the next 15 seconds. Here we go. Okay, now make sure not to touch the board until the countdown ends. Don't worry, the sensors are perfectly safe. Those sensors are going to be super calibrated in a bit.
Why does it take 15 seconds? I want somebody to actually take this thing apart and actually have a debugger running on the side. Because, like, my bread and butter is, like, programming, coding, software, all that stuff. And see what the fuck this thing's actually doing. What is it? Are they weight sensors, or... This is so weird to me. So are they weight sensors or are they infrared? Because if you have to stand away and you can't, like, be anywhere near it, then I would assume these things are, like, infrared. Because they have to put out, like, an infrared beam in order to determine whether or not you touched the thing.
This is probably the easiest thing you'll do all day. Almost there. Got it. Great. Step one, done. We need to raise the nose of the board into the air. You're going to step on the tail and make sure you cover the back sensor with your foot. Okay, for the next 10 seconds, step on the tail. Starting now.
I would not want to do any of this for a video game.
Here we go. The nose should be way up in the air. This is also how the board's going to look when you're pulling off your first ollie.
Not that high.
Come on, come on. And done. Fantastic. Now for the other side.
Even the narrator's bored.
Now we need to raise the tail of the board up. Step on the nose and make sure that you cover the front sensor with your foot. For the next 10 seconds, step on the nose. And go. Now your board's tail should be shooting towards the ceiling. When you do a nollie, your board will resemble this.
You actually had to fucking nollie and ollie this thing? Why not just put it on fucking wheels? You know what, at that point, why not just get a real skateboard? Yeah, no, that is Tony Hawk. He is, like... he has a recognizable voice, but what's hilarious is when he went on Joe Rogan, he's the most cool guy on that podcast. Jesus Christ, I'm just having Alzheimer's right now. He went on Joe Rogan, and he always gets asked, basically, are you Tony Hawk? It's like, no. Oh, you look like him. The guy himself gets that.
Okay, all finished. Got it. Now let's move on to the sides. We need you to step on the left side of the board with your foot covering the left sensor. For the next 10 seconds, you should be stepping on the left side of the board. Here we go. This is a true Cinderella story. Just a few days ago, they were called up by P-Rod for a special mission in Southern California.
This looks fucking awful, and man, did PS2 models look terrible. His buddy Penis Rod.
My job here is to help you turn into...
Dude, you've watched this game more than you play it. Holy fuck. Jesus Christ. This must have been cool back then. It doesn't look like it was actually cool. But this is... Ugh.
We're putting you on a set pass so you can just...
They're T-Mobile. Oh my god, a sidekick. This is not a video game. This is a time capsule.
Concentrate on pulling off tricks. Okay, let's give it a try.
And let's listen to Fall Out Boy when we fucking do it. This was a PS3 game. A PS3 game looked this fucking shitty. Ooh, yeah. This is such a stupid idea. This is such a stupid idea. This would be so much better by doing it with a controller. You could do so much more by doing it with a controller. So they just took a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater game, essentially that was going to be the next one in the series, because you can always make a good one by just doing the formula the way they did it, but then said, fuck doing that. Let's have this ridiculous gimmick. That's hilarious. Seosin. Zayo. Atreyu. Come on. Hawthorne fucking Heights. Silverstein. Come on now. What happens when you fall? Does it give you like an electroshock? To simulate pain? Well, don't walk in the middle of a skate park like that, dum-dum. This just looks like a really boring game. Because in, like, the regular Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games, you'd be doing so much more shit. You'd be doing, like, fucking manuals in between each one of these jumps. You could be doing way more grinds. You'd have way more vertical style ramps and half pipes and shit. This is just one big straight line. Because this thing is just so fucking stupid. This was, yeah, it was probably because of the Guitar Hero thing. They thought this would be a good gimmick. No, that's silly to me. It is. It's boring. It's just, there's nothing interesting about it.